So last night the Timberwolves played a game in Washington D.C.
Hey, listen, that's if we're trying to do what we want to do and go where we want to go. You got to play. You got to play and beat these teams, and a lot of them are against first-time opponents for us too, or Eastern Conference opponents. So it's good. We played well enough at times. We didn't play our best game tonight, but we certainly played well enough to win this game at times, and but they deserve to win it because they basically beat us to the punch on most of the 50-50 stuff.
So I'm guessing Judd probably watches that game last night and thinks the sky is falling.
Oh no! Are you kidding?
The Wolves got beat. They blew it down the stretch. What was your panic index watching that game last night?
0.
I don't know.
Why would I be panicked about it?
Wait. You did send us an all caps text before Cat went down saying Carl.
He threw another bad pass. I'm sick of those bad passes.
He was
those
great
blind
last night.
Oh no, he was fantastic. He can score. He's great. But I'm just saying he makes passes sometimes that you're just like, what the hell? But then he got hurt, and I was concerned. But my panic about the loss, 0. No, sorry. I'd tell you if I'm panicked. I complain when I'm panicked. I'm just not.
I'll believe you. And I say good, because you shouldn't be panicked.
I agree.
I think our first instinct sometimes with this franchise is because we've seen it so many times. We're like, okay, all right, things look like they might be like you're sort of. It's like you're walking out onto the ice, on a lake.
Yeah.
For the first freeze, and you're trying to feel it out. Like, okay, I think the franchise is kind of back. Okay, let me put my toe over here. Oh, look, they started 10-8 a couple years ago under Ryan Saunders, and then boom, like you fall through the ice. Lose 11 straight games. And so when they lose a game last night, I think there's a lot of Wolves fans that are like, oh God, is this going to be an 8-game losing streak? But I am here to tell you with full positivity, there's actually some great things to be learned in a couple of the losses recently. And grab the damn flag. Wave the damn flag.
There we go. Wolves positivity. Wolves positivity. Get your positivity here. 25 cents. Get your positivity.
Who wants a free T-shirt?
I got beer. I got peanuts. I got programs. I got positivity. Get your positivity.
Peanuts, popcorn, positivity. Peanuts, popcorn, Pepsi, and
positivity.
Positivity, hip.
So let's start with there's 2 losses recently that I came away from thinking that stings. That's a buzzkill, but wow, this is a different team.
Sure.
So the Suns game 3 weeks ago, they were up 5 points with 3 minutes to go on what we now have seen is the best team in the NBA, and they were. By the end of last season, the Suns were very much one of the 2 or 3 best teams in the NBA. Hell, they had a 2-0 lead in the NBA Finals. And they've come back from, I'm sure, a terrible taste in their mouths. They've won 17 games in a row now, including that win over the Wolves a few weeks ago. And the Wolves were up 5 points with 3 minutes to go against that Suns team. And Devin Booker did not have a bad hamstring in that game like he did against the Warriors a couple nights ago. Chris Paul was playing at full strength in that game. Mm-hmm. The difference is in those last 3 minutes, Chris Paul and Devin Booker and the Suns know exactly who they are. They know exactly the shots they want to get, how to get those shots, how to dissect an opponent, and the Wolves are still sort of feeling that out. So I came away from that loss thinking, that's a buzzkill loss, but it's a good sign. And then last night, so the Wizards, for people that haven't paid attention to the first month of the NBA season, the Wizards made a really savvy trade, dumping Russell Westbrook and then bringing in Montrezl Harrell, bringing in Caldwell Pope and Kyle Kuzma, and it has breathed new life into the franchise. And they've started out really hot. They're several games above 500. You're playing on the road. And by the way, no Pat Beverly, no Jaden McDaniels, and multiple guys also dealing with flu symptoms or coming off of having had the flu within the last 72 hours, including Anthony Edwards and Jared Vanderbilt. And Anthony Edwards, didn't Doogie say? Who was it Doogie that reported he had to travel separately from the team?
Declan told us that.
He was traveling separately the morning of, yesterday morning. He had to travel separately.
It is reckless speculation Thursday, and that's a Declan scoop right there.
Reckless speculation.
So he was maybe not going to make the trip.
Yep. Yeah. He didn't make the trip, then he did.
And so you're shorthanded and you're sort of ravaged by this flu, and your defense is not dialed in for that reason and for just other reasons. and you give up 10 dunks to Montrezl Harrell, something like 55 or 60 points in the paint for the whole game, and yet they're tied with a few minutes to go. They're not, and D'Lo shot 3 of 18 last night.
Yeah, it was awful.
And they still
Agree.
find ways to just sort of be in that game.
Yep.
And even have the lead at times in the second half.
Yep.
And I'm not exonerating them. If D'Lo makes a couple more shots, they probably win the game. If they, I don't know, put a body on Montrezl Harrell a couple more times, if Cat could get in there, and I'm not exonerating them. I'm not saying that they deserve no criticism, but I've learned a lot in those 2 losses, and I take away a lot of positives, and it makes me feel better that there's not like an 8-game losing streak on the horizon.
Oh, no 8-game losing streak.
Let's get it, baby.
No 8-game losing streak.
Wave the flag.
Positivity.
Wave
Get your
the
positivity. Positivity.
Peanuts,
Positivity.
popcorn, positivity.
Expect
Right.
positivity.
Optimism free. Mackie and Judd. That's my thought.
No, I'm with you totally. I think that this team is a different team. I think this team is a fun team. And the most important thing might be this. They're interesting. Like there are things to glean. Like you don't watch them lose now and just think, "Oh my God, what a train wreck. This guy stinks and that guy stinks." So yeah, I am in no way off the defeat that I watched last night. Like, oh, that's an unacceptable loss.
Mm-hmm.
And look, my expectations for the Vikings are high because they should be. I'm not going to apply the same expectations to the Wolves.
Yeah, they're a few levels back in the video game.
My expectations for the Wolves are wait and see, and are they improving? And the answer to are they improving is absolutely. So yeah, no, they are a fun team. Are they flawed? Yes. But they certainly have some star talent. Phil, you're right. Cat was, for the most part, great last night. Ant has games where he's great. D'Lo's definitely improved. I think, because he made 3 3-pointers last night.
He was 3 of 18 from the field.
Yeah. So that wasn't good. But yeah, I am in no way, shape, or form down on this team because of an arbitrary loss in Washington on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, I want to say something about D'Lo too, and I have a feeling there's been a lot of feedback coming through the SKOR North app that we'll get to on D'Lo. So we can carve out some time to talk more about D'Lo on tomorrow's show. But
sure,
he has been excellent as a passer, excellent as even a defender. He's not Bruce Bowen in his prime. He's not going to win NBA Defensive Player of the Year, but he's been much more engaged, much more of a communicator on defense. Mm-hmm. I would just say in general, he has stepped his game up as a leader and as a conductor, and he has. Doogie has reported for months and months and months that D'Lo and Ryan Saunders did not really see eye to eye. That they kind of butted heads. They just I don't know. They didn't see it the same way. But he obviously is buying into whatever Chris Finch and some of the assistants are selling, to the point where he has become this all-encompassing sort of conductor on the court when he's out there. And even last night, when he's got to figure out a way to knock down some more shots on a regular basis. He has started off 38% from the field on the season, and again, 3 of 18 last night. There's just been a lot of games like that where, he can't make shots. I don't think that's going to be a long-term problem. I think it's going to come around, and when it does, then maybe we see the most complete version of D'Lo that we've seen. But he deserves. I tweeted out, and I don't know if this is going to make old tweets exposed today or not, but I tweeted out a few weeks ago, I'm out on D'Lo, not a winning player.
It made old tweets exposed.
It did?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we'll.
Oh,
okay.
wait.
Well, let's just get into old tweets exposed.
Well, now
do you have it ready?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we have it ready.
Now we know.
So let me ramble for a minute, and then you pull up old tweets exposed. I was probably wrong, a little early to the jump on that take, is what I'm saying. I want to see the season play out. I don't want to see these 3 for 18 performances, but when he goes 3 for 18 and still dishes a bunch of assists and is running the offense and he's grabbing rebounds even and he's playing defense, and that's kind of, that's what I like about Anthony Edwards too. When Andrew Wiggins used to go 3 for 18, he'd grab you 2 rebounds, no assists, and he would just basically be a zombie. When these guys have a bad shooting night, they're still super engaged and they're active and they're impacting the game in other ways.
If D'Lo plays defense and struggles with his shot, it's far easier to accept.
Yes.
It's
All
that
right.
simple.
All right, old tweets exposed here. So, all right, go ahead. This is
Actually, kind of a two-parter. November 8th, so 3 weeks ago, the Timberwolves basically the same thing every night since 2004.
Which
And then
loss was
I'm
that?
good on D'Lo. He's not a winning player. One of the quickest turnarounds in old tweets exposed
What?
I've ever had.
I don't,
Which loss was that, Phil?
I don't know. One of them. Who knows?
November
It's like
8th.
3 weeks. It wasn't even a month ago.
And then
I'm not going to
too
crown
far-
him yet, but I'm willing to admit that I was probably a little early on
This
that.
one has
And then
aged
November
well.
30th, I'm definitely willing to be wrong on that one. So I mean,
I
you
hope
know,
I'm
a little
wrong.
self-reflection. Yeah,
Yeah.
a little self-reflection.
That tweet didn't age well, Phil.
When
I
are you
love
guys
that
going to
comment.
admit that you were
I
wrong?
love that
wrong.
comment, though. That tweet didn't age well.
That's my guy. It's my guy. I used to fight with him about Andrew
Kirk
Wiggins
Cousins.
all the time. I was right about Andrew Wiggins, by the way. And I'm not saying that I was totally wrong about D'Lo. I still think the future of this franchise centers around Anthony Edwards much more than anybody else. But it doesn't mean that D'Lo can't be a wonderful piece to the puzzle here. So, all right, well, what else we got? I'm not the only one that tweeted something stupid at some point.
No,
I'm guessing.
God no. Well, Miko Koivu is getting his number retired, so I figured I'd go and find some Koivu takes from Judd and myself, being the hockey connoisseurs we are.
Sure.
This is from Judd Zolgad on March 28th, 2015. Vanek might be up to 20 goals, but the guy whose turnarounds impressed me the most is Koivu. That backhanded goal was a thing of beauty.
2015, Koivu was
Dude,
still good
wow,
then.
What
Yeah.
a fraud, dude. What a fraud.
Yeah. No, Koivu, and in Koivu's prime, he was a good player.
I love
There's
the
no
dig at-
question about
Maybe
it.
maybe you should admit that you were wrong about Koivu.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. I was
You
wrong.
you wanted Koivu out of the organization, and now he's being celebrated as
I know. Well, you know what?
a jersey worth hanging in the rafters.
Franchises make mistakes too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the dig at the best part
love the
about
dig
that
at
entire
Vanek.
thing, the dig at Vanek was deserved. It was necessary, and I do it again. Still lives here.
I wasn't upset. Yeah, I saw him
Still
at,
lives here, I saw
the local Woodbury Champs the day before he signed with Minnesota with Mike Yeo on the patio. I remember
Oh,
that very
at that
vividly.
Woodbury Champs. Oh, so you had a scoop?
I looked right over. Oh, there's Mike Yeo. Mike Yeo, like the most
tweet it?
noticeable bald human being of all time. Yeah, I probably tweeted it.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah, I
scoop
did.
for you.
I did have a scoop.
Good
Even
job,
before when I was still in college, come home for the summer watching Vanek, thinking that was going to be the missing piece the Wild need.
Oh, I
Boy,
did
was
too.
wrong there.
Thomas Vanek, 250 career NHL goals. Is there a more hollow 250 goals
Well-
in NHL history?
Well,
You know, in Buffalo, he was a very
pretty
good
damn good in
player. He
Buffalo.
was really good, and it just fell
that's fair.
off the proverbial cliff. So I will give him in his prime again. He was a really good player.
yeah, like
Unfortunately,
those
here, it
like
just all
those
fell
like
apart.
Lindy Ruff Buffalo. Like the
Yeah.
last time Buffalo was relevant,
Ruff.
basically, right?
Lindy
Yes.
Ruff, who coaches now the Devils.
the Devils. Capo Kakinen getting back-to-back starts for the Wild tonight, by the way,
Is he?
against the Devils. Yeah, he is. Dino's going back to Capo. First time all season. He's getting
Something wrong
back-to-back
with
starts.
Canada?
No, just Capo deserves to start. And the Devils are...
Okay, all
So-
right.
makes a lot of sense.
The hockey whisperer told you, watch out for Cam Talbot. He's just a guy on yesterday's
Just a
show.
guy.
The Whisperer did come through with some very negative vitriol.
Very
Just a
negative.
guy.
All right.
You weren't the only one who had a Koivu take. This from me on March 20th, 2013. Nobody in the NHL has more points and a better plus-minus than Mikko Koivu since March 3rd. Who still thinks he's not a top-line center?
You know, guys, man.
But in 2013, Dex, again, I don't like. He was really good back then. He's just not a
was
player whose
solid.
jersey number you retire. I think that there's a difference here. Like, I don't think that's a bad tweet at the time. I really don't.
I mean,
I'm
I'm
gonna
using
defend
points
you.
and plus-minus for a 20-game stretch as
Yeah.
why he's a top-line center when he clearly was
Unlike
maybe
Phil,
a
who
second-line
just
center.
raced
Correct.
to go after poor D'Lo after some November 8th game.
I want to see what game that was. What caused
Yeah.
me? Let's see here.
I'm sure we talked about it the next day, and you bemoaned it and said the Timberwolves.
Well, I
will never
don't like-
change. And I said, just wait for Finchy. Finchy's got him. Finchy's got
Finchy.
him.
I don't want like a 3 for 18 performance.
I know.
He is a much better complete player now
Talk
than,
it out,
than
Phil.
he was last
Talk
couple
it
of
out.
years.
Talk
But
it out.
3 for 18, like
I know.
come
I know,
on.
Phil.
what are we doing?
Get it all out.
No, I'm not gonna.
okay.
Okay. And so November 8th.
November 8th. What do you got?
Okay, that was the loss to Memphis. That's
at
when
Memphis,
when
it fell
when
apart.
Towns hit like a 45-footer to
Yep.
send the game to overtime.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
And D'Lo dropped 30 in that game, but I think I was mad about just some of the chucking that happened in that game. He gets a little. Sometimes he can get a little. It's my turn. It's my turn.
Absolutely.
But overall, he has been a wonderful catalyst for Timberwolves wins this year. Yeah, I think so. His shooting this season is what has mostly, like, he's had 3 games. I'm just going to go through some of the games. He had a 1 for 8 in that ridiculous loss to Orlando. 3 for 18 last night. He had a 3 for 16 against the Pelicans in one of those games. In the loss to the Pelicans, he had a 3 for 14. He had a 6 for 19 in that blowout win over the Spurs. Think about that. They beat the Spurs by 25 points in a game in which D'Lo went 6 for 19. Like they're win and they beat the Pelicans when he went 3 for 16 in a blowout too.
It's because of the ball.
So when he starts to come
Ball's
around,
bad.
well, it is. I mean, a lot of players.
Yeah,
Bradley Beal is one of them.
I'm with these
He
guys.
hasn't
The
made a
ball's
shot all
bad.
year.
That was my problem. Now, in retrospect, I got a bad basketball.
That's why you went 0 for 27.
The day I was
On
heaving the
YouTube?
ball up on YouTube, now it turns out I was subject to a bad basketball. Yeah,
That's
D'Lo,
got to be it.
Beal,
Well, let's
Dolgad.
why don't you pick the ball that you want and let's go do the 27 3-point challenge.
Oh, I
again.
got a lot going on right
Got a thing.
now. My rotator cuffs.
I'll get Judd down in the paint, and Judd can just kiss it off the glass each time. How about that, Judd? Can you get the ball up off
That
the
means I have
glass?
to jump. You know what?
Oh, man.
With my weight loss, I can jump a little bit now, so perhaps I could get the ball.
Well, you either got to take
Off
threes, you
glass.
have to get underneath the hoop. Well,
I play
you
defense.
got those two
I
options.
play defense, Dex.
In retrospect, you should have, because I don't know, you were unable to get enough like arc on your shot to make it to the hoop from 3-point. I think a granny shot would have served you better. I think you would have
Rick
been able to
Barry
get the ball
from
there.
the free throw line.
Yeah.
They told Shaq
swallow
to.
your pride.
That's what they told Shaq to do. He wouldn't do it.
No, I'd rather shoot 40% than damage my pride by finding a new motion that works.
I feel like the most important thing is we just had very, very productive Wolves talk therapy for Phil, which is the most important thing. Because I feel like if you can talk your feelings out after games, it really does help you.
It's very important.
You know, something else I've noticed, like in these D'Lo conversations
Yes.
with my friends on Twitter, people think that you and I, Judd,
Your friend.
care more about like being right. Like if we criticize someone,
Right.
people think that like, oh, you just want Kirk Cousins to fail. No, I don't want D'Lo, Kirk Cousins. I want these teams to win championships. But if they aren't performing up to expectations, or if there's a night where they go 3 of 18 from the field or something, I'm not gonna.
Well, when it comes to the Wolves, I think you can dumb it down enough when it comes to the Wolves where you just want them to be good.
Yes.
Like, just be competitive, be good. Like you are right now finding positives, and I don't blame you from a loss, because for years there was nothing.
That's because that's where
But
we're
yes,
at with the
people,
franchise. Yeah.
But you are correct. People definitely think that our desire to be right is why we spew the hot takes, because in their
a
mind,
hot take equals an opinion. By the way, like
yeah,
people have taken the hot take thing so far in the last 5 or 6 years. Like
right.
that's a hot
it's
take.
like fake news. Like
No, it's an opinion.
I didn't like that. That's fake news. Well, actually, no, it's real
No, it's
news.
not.
But you don't like the
That's
news.
cancel culture. No, that's accountability.
Yeah.
is what
No,
that
you're
is.
correct. But yeah, there is a. I don't think it's fair to have what I like to call expectations
For anything or for the Wolves.
for any sports team. I don't think it's
Sports.
unfair. Or I'm sorry, unfair. I don't think it's unfair.
Okay, I was
to
like,
have,
what?
Or I don't think it's unfair to have expectations. And I mean, that's what we have, and that's what we should have. And for far too long in this town, there has been a feeling that expectations should sort of be dumbed down to fit things.
I think the most optimistic and crazy thing about the Timberwolves so far this year, and other teams are dealing with this too, because there's a lot of guys that just aren't shooting the ball well yet, but there's only one player on the roster that is overperforming their 3-point percentage. Like Karl Anthony Towns is shooting 44% from 3, but he's a career 40% shooter, so it's only going to come down a little bit. Ant's probably right on at 35%. Like he's probably like a league average 3-point shooter right now. I could see that going up in the next couple of years. But Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverley, and D'Angelo Russell all have not really found their 3-point shot for the totality of the season yet. And Taurean Prince too. He's been a good 3-point shooter throughout his career. So if these guys start hitting threes, some of these games come down to like the Hornets hit 19 threes, and the Wolves only made 7.
Hold on. If these guys start hitting threes, L-O-B.
That's right.
L-O-B.
That's right.
L-O-B, baby.
Ray Allen,
Yep.
Steph Curry,
Yep.
Reggie Miller, and Taurean Prince when he gets hot, hopefully on this road trip.
The ring ceremony on October, what day? October 22nd, 2022. Before the Wolves tip off, the ring ceremony for the LOB trophy. That's right.
Oh, there was a great. So, Judd, have you watched any of these Tom Brady episodes yet?
Not yet. No.
Okay, so episode 3 came out a night or two ago, and I watched it this morning, and there's a clip they're showing before the 3rd Super Bowl championship when they beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl, before the game or like earlier I think it was earlier that week in practice or something, like in a meeting. It was in some sort of like boardroom. So the players were all sitting in there, and Bill Belichick pulls out like a printed piece of paper. And the camera is kind of up in the corner, so it's hard to make out what he's saying exactly, but he said, "All right, boys. So saw this interesting piece of information that came out. The city of Philadelphia has already started planning the parade route for the Super Bowl." And he starts drawing it out. So it's going to go down Broadway Street here. They've got it going around this area and then taking a left on this street. And then it finishes over here in front of the whatever building. And then he just, and the team probably didn't even know that was happening. But Bill Belichick then goes, "Should we just let them do the parade? You guys even want to show up or what?" And then like all of a sudden the room starts getting all buzzed and stuff. God, you guys got to watch this. It's
I've
freaking
seen the
amazing.
first 2. I haven't seen the third one. The
You
first
don't
2
think
are
Zim,
awesome.
Zim would do the same thing? Come on.
Yeah,
Zim would do the same thing.
I'm sure he would. You like how this tastes?
You like that?
No, we're good. All right. Feedback Friday tomorrow on Mackie and Judd. And don't forget Vikings Vent Line right after Vikings Lions. Win or lose. God help us if they lose that game. But Vent Line will be here for you on Sunday.
I don't even want to think about a loss to the Lions.
We are daily Minnesota sports, therapy, entertainment. We're just here for you.
Wolves therapy for Phil
Yep.
as he talks through his feelings.
Yep.
18 reasons why last night's loss was more positive than the loss before that.
Nope. Not going to go there. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Mackie and Judd.